Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Sanchez, and this is my senior capstone proposal presentation. And my topic will cover how music evokes emotions through film. And so a little bit about me is that I am a student here at UH West Oahu, and this semester will mark my fourth year. I major in creative media with a concentration in communications and new media technologies, and I am currently studying for a certificate in Asian studies. I graduated from Kapolei High School in 2021. And a little interesting fact about that is that students there were able to go into an academy of their choosing. And so I chose to be in the Arts and Communications Academy. So I always kind of had an interest for the creative arts in general. And so these are just the basics of the topics that will be covered in this presentation. So I'll be going over the plans for my senior capstone project, my thesis statement, the objective and or rationale of the research conducted, and I will address the significance of my proposed project with my research. And so going over my thesis, music in film serves as a powerful narrative device, shaping audience perception through its ability to evoke emotions, establish atmosphere, and become an integral part of storytelling. And so my objective is to analyze how the different elements of music work together, as well as music itself, to evoke audience emotions when watching a film. As someone who is passionate about film, music, and the arts in general, I think it's important for me to incorporate both elements as well as their connection in relation to each other moving forward with this project. And so for my senior capstone project, I plan to deliver a short film that utilizes different types of music in real-world scenarios to showcase how music evokes emotions through film. I will explain this a little more later in my presentation, but this will border between a mix of narrative and experimental elements, which will allow me to demonstrate and prove my thesis statement. And so what is the significance of this research and why is it important? Music has the power to tap into the subconscious mind, creating an atmosphere that may not be achieved solely through visuals alone. Understanding how this works can help filmmakers manipulate audience emotions on a deeper psychological level. And filmmakers may utilize this knowledge to strategically evoke specific emotional and psychological states that affect moods more naturally. Advances in psychology will deepen our understanding of how music evokes emotions and how it enhances storytelling in ways that are more impactful. Another reason being is that music subtly reinforces storytelling by highlighting character development, mood changes, or tonal shifts. Analyzing this helps filmmakers and composers craft soundtracks that support the story's emotional arc. And so as cross-media storytelling, or where a narrative unfolds across multiple platforms, becomes more popular, music acts as a unifying emotional thread across various forms of media. This allows music to reinforce a story across different formats, keeping emotional continuity. And so getting into the data, I decided to utilize a peer-reviewed source from my paper done this year by Ruby O'Crocker and Fergie Fazekas. They report on a study analyzed in which music influences audience emotions through film. And so an experiment was conducted with over 130 participants taking part, where the film music emotion data set, otherwise known as FME-24, was created. This data set was used to basically explore emotional perception through film and music, and it covered a variety of film genres and music genres. And so each participant was asked to listen to a 15-second soundtrack from a film. From there, they were given a button that they could click, and they were only instructed to click it when they felt a change in emotion. So every time they pressed the button, a marker would appear on this sound wave, and which was referred to as an annotation. So the participants were later able to manipulate and move the markers for more accuracy. And then they were asked to write a short sentence describing what they felt. And so after listening to over 200 samples, participants had collectively done over 1,500 annotations, which after refining and eliminating errors through the study, it reduced down to 160 samples and over 900 annotations. So figure 4 on the left here shows results from part of the experiment where 4 participants were asked to plot their emotional perception over time after listening to 2 different audio files. So as you can see here, where the points are not clumped together, they aren't too far apart either. And so this suggests a moderate level of agreement between the participants in both arousal and valence. And for reference and simplicity's sake, you can think of arousal as energy and valence as positivity. And so this table here on the right represents the results from the entire experiment after all the annotations had been collected. And so for reference, the plus and minus symbols over here will represent positive and negative. So positive arousal, positive valence, negative arousal, negative valence, so on and so forth. And so here you can kind of see that the positive arousal and positive valence column, it has the highest number of annotations, meaning that participants felt more emotion towards a genre. Overall, the numbers aren't too relatively far apart if you look down the rows. So these compared to like say for example drama, it has the most annotations, and then music, the music genre here has fewer annotations. So it kind of suggests a consistent trend if you separate the genres into their own graphs like this one. And so there are many different approaches. And the target audience would encompass new and upcoming filmmakers and composers, including students in the creative industry. I think indie creatives would benefit from knowing how the different elements of music come together to create an effective piece that will in turn create an effective film that moves their intended audiences. And so there are many different approaches to showcase how music and film work together to create emotions. I hope to create a way for I hope to provide creators an idea of ways in which they can sort of make music's impression on the audiences more effective when working in tandem with film. And so here's how I plan to prepare and process for my project. So since it is a short film deliverable, I plan to separate the stages into pre-production, production, and then post-production. So pre-production consists of scripting, storyboarding, scouting locations and actors, and creating a schedule. Overall, I estimate this to be about 3 weeks based on previous projects that I've done. Production will take longer with 8 weeks. It will consist of filming the actual video. And I kind of just like to do this in general. I like to make a rough cut just to kind of see how it turns out and whether or not I like the direction that the film is going. Doing all the voiceovers and sound recordings, and then filming any extras that I may need. And so post-production will take a little longer than pre-production with 4 weeks. It will consist of editing the actual final cut, working on sound design and picking out the music choices, and then adding any visual effects needed and color grading, and then the actual final cut that I will be presenting. And so again, my deliverable will be a short film around 5 to 15 minutes and will be posted on YouTube. As I did mention before, the film will be a mix of narrative and experimental elements with slightly documentary elements added to it. The inspiration for this actually comes from a horror game called Until Dawn by Sony. And so in the game, players are forced to pick between two choices in order to continue with the storyline of the narrative. And then each choice will eventually lead to a different ending. And this is what's called as the butterfly effect, where a small decision will eventually lead to an unpredictable larger consequence. But for my film, I plan on utilizing a similar effect called the domino effect, where one thing will directly cause the next thing to happen in a predictable way. And so because I want to showcase how music influences audience emotions when watching a film, I plan on showing a film with several clips of different narratives and then overlaying it with two different options. So option one, which would be the first choice of music, and then overlaying that same clip again with option number two, which is an alternate piece of music. And then after that, I will also create a short survey that will ask the audience questions about how they felt while watching certain parts of the film, when exactly they felt the change, and provide a timestamp, and how they perceived each clip, and so on and so forth. And so with that, I would like to conclude my senior capstone proposal presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and I will now give the floor to you guys.